Friday, the day the working man yearns for. A day meant for relaxation and joy. What will you do with your time? Perhaps you will create something. No matter what you do, rejoice, my friends, for the weekend is here and the world is ours.
And we are back for another episode, another edition of the On The Go podcast. This is Friday. This is Feel Good Friday, Pop Culture Friday. So it's going to get real newsy and real entertaining today. What's going on, Jacob?
Hey, everything's good, James. I like Feel Good Friday. That actually sounds pretty good.
Friday.
Is there a Feel Good Friday out there? Is that already a...
No, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe we finally named our Friday episode.
Probably Feel Good Friday. Because it's, Feel Good Friday, end of the week. Some people don't have to go to work. Some people do probably have to go to work. So
yeah, you're right. Some people do work the weekends.
Yeah, so I guess it wouldn't be a Feel Good Friday.
Yeah. So if you noticed, James, there was a little poem at the beginning of this.
Oh, it was a poem?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Christian podcast.
No, it just...
That's exactly what it sounded like. I said, it's like a Christian podcast.
I mean, I just made it sound like God.
But, I thought it was like one of those youth Christian podcasts.
So I got a little story about that.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to change up our intros. And we're not all the time, but I just throw a little new things in the mix,
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my neighbor and I knocked on the door and I offered him $50 to record this thing for me because it was out of the blue. I just had the idea, so I was like, I'm gonna go find a neighbor to do this. And right away, before I even told him that we were gonna record something, he starts taking off his clothes for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I was like, oh, no, I just need you to read the script and talk into this microphone. And he still took his clothes off, but he did it, which was kind of weird.
Hey, man. I don't know where this story's headed, but hey.
Well, I was like, hey, you don't have to take your clothes off to do this. And he's like, no, I've done worse for less. It's cool. I was like, okay, well, thanks for the recording.
That's tough business. That's tough business.
Yeah, and, I think it might be part robot James because... When I knocked on the door and he answered, he asked me if I was a plug. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know what that meant. I think it's some sort of robot term.
I know exactly what it means.
Because he sounded a little robotic in his recording, and no matter how many takes I tried to get out of him, he always just sounded like a robot. So I'm like, oh, this guy must be some sort of Tesla droid or whatever.
I don't know about that one. He sounds like something that I can't say right now because this is an afternoon podcast, unfortunately. So But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little poem. Yeah, I wrote that poem, by the way. I came up with it. I liked it. I just it's like a Christian podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I was going for.
It's like a Christian podcast.
I wanted to go for a more meaningful feeling, like it's Friday.
Yeah.
You gotta feel good about Friday.
I feel like Kirk Cameron's about to come on the podcast and say, oh God.
Well, as we've established, it is our Friday. It's our pop culture Friday.
Mm-hmm. We got some newsy stuff going on.
We do have some newsy news. I watched that Damsel movie on Netflix.
Did you now?
Yeah, I watched it. I'll get into it a bit later. But the Millie Bobby Brown movie, I think it came out last week or something. I don't know. I finally got around to it, and I'll tell you about that later. Spider-Man 2 came out with a new game plus, so I've been playing that recently.
All right.
So that's been pretty fun. But the big news from a week or so ago was Akira Toriyama passed away.
Yes, he did.
Which is a creator of Dragon Ball
Z.
And to my surprise, James, was how young. I mean, he's not young, but like how young he was compared to how old I thought he was.
How old did you think he was?
I mean, I thought he was like 70 or 80.
Oh no, I knew he wasn't 70 or 80. I mean, I don't know too much about him, but I obviously I know about Dragon Ball Z, but I knew he wasn't too old. I knew he was like in his like late 50s.
68?
68, yeah.
Yeah, late 60s.
He still looked pretty good. He still looked really, really good, yeah.
Well, that was surprising to me because, Dragon Ball's been out forever.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we were kids, Dragon Ball Z, and like most kids, I'm pretty sure that we all thought that this was now. Dragon Balls and these episodes were new to us.
No, they were like
they were out
5 years old.
Yeah, they were 5 years old. So they were like out in the late 80s.
Right. And the earlier Dragon Ball is even older than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that blew me away. I was like, he was only 68?
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Very, very, very sad. I hated to hear that.
It was the whole anime community took a hit that day. And, I mean, Dragon Ball is just iconic in general. Like,
oh, yeah. It's the most, I think that's how most people fought. How most, millennial kids followed anime.
Yeah.
That's how most millennial kids. And like, most kids didn't follow Boomerang. They didn't really watch Speed Racer. They didn't really watch Thundercats. They didn't really watch all these different shows. But that was the show, or Transformers, or, any of those type of anime style type shows. So Dragon Ball Z was kind of the first of its kind.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely sucks. Definitely sucks to hear about that.
And because they were still doing Dragon Ball Super. I mean, it wasn't a finished thing.
No, never.
So it's
ongoing. I think it still goes on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, the book series for sure is still going on, and I think they had just announced like a couple months ago they were going to do another anime series where it's like Dragon Ball GT, but instead of just Goku getting turned into a kid, all the characters got turned into the kids. I don't know why they went that route. But that was going to be the next thing.
Iconic characters for sure. Just Goku was one of probably the most iconic.
Oh yeah, Goku,
anime
Vegeta.
Character, Vegeta, all those guys just.
I mean, just iconic. Super Saiyan in general. There was like all these memes that came out about all the influence they had on other shows and like how so much other media parodied them.
And look, they also had influence on black people as well. They had a very, very strong, very, very strong presence on black kids.
No, yeah, a huge black culture phenomenon. Anime in general, a lot of
it does.
Black culture revolves around anime.
It does.
So,
especially with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, really?
With RZA, yeah, because RZA's like a big anime head too.
Oh, interesting.
And so yeah, it has a big play. So I saw a lot of black people posting about him as well. So
yeah, iconic for sure. Venom 3. We have a name for Venom 3. Have you seen the name?
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm couldn't be more happy.
Last Dance.
Yes. in this, please.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. Compared to Let There Be Carnage, it is a better sequel title, I think, because Let There Be Carnage was just a mouthful for one.
It was.
And also, I don't know. You could have just named it Carnage, Venom and Carnage, or something like that. But yeah, sure. I like it. Venom: The Last Dance. It's really. You're right. It's very final, right? Yeah. It solidifies like, no, this is the third one. This is the last one.
This is it.
And they moved up the date. I don't know if you saw that too. They moved up the release date.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, yeah.
Because it was going to come out in November, but now it's coming out in October.
Yeah.
Which
that's a smart choice.
I don't know, because I believe Kraven was slated. When was Kraven slated?
I think Kraven was slated for October as well.
August 30th.
Oh, okay.
I keep thinking it's an October movie. I don't know why.
Yeah. Probably was when it was supposed to be been released last year, but
you're right.
They probably went on and delayed it. Yeah.
I know how you feel about the franchise, so we won't get into it, but I'm excited it's got a name. I just want to know what the story is about. I mean, you think it's Toxin. A lot of people think it's Toxin because they hinted at it.
They hinted at it.
Apparently, some of the casted characters are from like the Life Foundation side of things, or like they're like these symbiote hunters. So they revolve around that story, which is kind of interesting. I would like less of a symbiote villain and more either like a human or some other kind of meta-human character. I know I know, James. I'm just trying to get my opinions out there.
Because you say I'm just laughing at the fact because you like I want a human interaction. I'm like, Venom has no human interactions. He has one person that he goes against, and that's what makes it so stupid. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like
I know. I don't know. He's got some human villains he fights.
Who's the human villain
outside of Spider-Man? Hold on, let me look it up.
There you go. I can't wait to see this. And it has to be humans of interest. It can't just be just random humans.
You're right.
Like that's all he has to fight is symbiotes. That's like that's the part that just boggles my mind with this. I was like, it has to be toxin unless they create something different.
No, there's a guy from the Life Foundation they were talking about.
Because remember in the first one, it was a symbiote, but it was a guy that ran the Life Foundation. Well, he was trying to expose him in the first one, which I did like him. He was pretty cool.
No, you're right. What am I doing? Let me just go look up the cast.
Yeah. And you would think by now they would drop a trailer or something.
Well, they just got done filming it not too long ago. I hate this because I remember seeing a post they were talking about.
I think he's the villain.
Chiwetel.
Yeah.
Is he? He plays Temple.
He plays Temple. I know he's in Doctor Strange. What's my Barry Mordo?
Oh, is it? Oh, is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
You mean the guy that didn't use anything?
Didn't even use him at all in the sequel. Didn't use him at all. No, not Barry Mordo. I'm sorry. Not I would have called community with my behind.
Is not Barry Mordo?
No, he's man. He helped him. He helped Doctor Strange in the first one. His name just escapes me. I'm sorry.
But he becomes a villain at the end, right?
Yeah. They never used him.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Mordo.
Okay, it's Barry Mordo.
Yeah.
Okay, then so I was right.
Well, they used him in Multiverse of Madness, but he wasn't the same guy.
He wasn't the same guy. I was like, oh, come on, man.
All right. Well, I can't find it off the fly right now, but I know there is like a human antagonist that he's had. There's this group of like symbiote hunters that get formed by the government or some sort of organization, and those people are technically Venom villains, right? Like they're going against Venom. They're trying to kill the symbiote or whatever. I think in the original comics, they were made to hunt him down, and that's how he gets to the Life Foundation, and that's how we get like Riot and Phage and all the symbiote
Which actually
characters.
would have been a better storyline for the second one than what we got.
And, you do have a point. So, I mean, they kind of did it in reverse, right? Because they did Life Foundation first, then you do Carnage, and now you're doing the Venom Hunters.
Yeah.
So, but, we'll see how it goes. I didn't mean for the segment to go on for that long. I was just frantically trying to
you
find the character name.
Anytime I go to Sony, is it...
Bad news about Batman 2. What do you know about Batman 2?
It's being delayed to next year. October 2nd or October 26th, probably. But I know somewhere in October. But kind of sucks. But I knew it was coming because the script wasn't finished. We had heard nothing about it. We had heard nothing about it at that time.
Yeah,
so
no, there's like no news about it. There's hardly any news for the Penguin show.
Yeah, they said it's finished done rapping. So at least
I think we got a trailer for that.
Got like a small teaser for it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So its original date was October 3rd, 2025. They literally just moved it back 1 year.
Yeah.
To 2026.
Which really sucks. But maybe it's a good thing.
I mean, potentially. I mean, we like you said, we don't even know the plot. They just got done writing the script, didn't they?
I mean, because Matt Reeves is the one that's writing the script. No, I haven't heard anybody come out, because I'm surprised nobody has a message James Gunn like, hey, James Gunn, what you think about this whole Batman situation? Which I'm pretty sure by next week we'll probably hear some more stuff about it.
I'm sure. He's gonna have to say something.
He's gonna say something about it. Since he's the guy over DC now.
You're right. And I mean, even the animation department he's over. I didn't realize he's like over everything.
Yeah, he's over everything.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure we'll have to hear from him about that. But for the simple fact that I think some of it was also due to the writer's strike. That's probably had some of the stuff. Reason why it was kind of log jammed. Because they weren't able to finish writing the script. And when you write a script, you want it to be well thought out. You don't want to just hurry up and rush it for the sake of rushing it, which I'm happy with. I'm very happy with. I'm really get the best quality movie than then rush a movie out and we get trash.
You're right. And, someone had made the comment, I was perusing online and hear about the Batman news and stuff. And someone had made the comment that Robert Pattinson has been Batman has been casted as Batman longer than the Nolan trilogy.
True.
Because going on.
The first time it got delayed.
Yeah.
The first time it got delayed. The first Batman movie got delayed. So.
And then I think he got casted like 3 or 4 years before that.
Yeah, 3 years before that. So, I mean, I'm not surprised.
He's just in Batman limbo.
Yeah. But this is you can take this as a sad thing or a good thing. Next year, the main focus of DC is Superman. That should be the main focus. That should take center stage. Nothing else should be coming out,
You're right.
DC wise. So that I'm very happy about that.
I had seen someone say, like, why is Superman the first one out the gate or something like that? Like, why Superman's I don't know where it was. It was a comment somewhere. It was basically they were just like, oh, they shouldn't do Superman first if they're trying to reset the DCU. And it's like, I don't know, like, why?
You have to.
Why not though?
Yeah, you have to. He's the base. He would set the foundation.
You're right. He's
for
one of the,
everything.
Yeah, he's one of the foundation members of the DC. I mean, it makes more sense than starting out with, I don't know, like a Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter or whatever. You want to do somebody recognizable, and also especially with Superman Legacy, or what was Superman Legacy, but especially with what we know from it, they're doing like 10 other characters in this movie. We're getting like a Hawk Girl. We're getting
we should probably have
the Atom in it, or Mr.
You doing Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, that guy.
Metamorpho. And that's about it. Metamorpho. So those are the characters that's going to be in the film. And they're going to only be like small cameos. James Gunn's already said that, but for some reason people are still worried. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Guy Gardner is in here as well. So I like this version of Green Lantern. What I think they're going to do is also do like the Hall of Justice. I know this was a Batman segment, but it's kind of transition.
Oh, that's fine.
But I know like they're going to do the Hall of Justice, I think, because they're also filming in Cleveland, Ohio, which is the birthplace of the Justice League, the little town hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a Union Station.
Oh, that's cool.
And the artist got the idea of the Hall of Justice from the Union Station in Cleveland, Ohio. So, yeah, James Gunn has done a lot of thinking on this. Let me ask you this: would it be a success? I've heard like people say that this film doesn't have to make $1 billion, or it doesn't have to make, that it doesn't have to be the greatest movie in the world.
Superman?
Yeah. Do you think this movie have to cross $1 billion mark, or do you think that it just has to be a solid film?
I mean, I think it just has to be a solid film, and I think it just has to make its money back. Whether that's $1 billion, whether that's 800,000 or whatever, as long as it makes the money back and it proves that it's profitable and it's a solid. I mean, it just at that point it doesn't even have to be a solid story, honestly. Yeah. Like it could just make the money back, and they'll probably be okay with it. But I mean, yeah, just solid story. It makes the money. So,
I kind of think it has to make $1 billion.
Do you? I don't think movies have to like make $1 billion. Like I think they just have to be good.
It better make close to it. Because I'm telling you right now, man, this is it.
With the way David Zaslav is being about his Warner properties,
that too.
I guess when you look at it from that perspective, because I mean he's selling off a bunch of his licenses for even his HBO. Like some of his HBO shows are popping up on Netflix. Like all the DC stuff is on Netflix right now.
It's leaving now, but yeah, it's probably a good thing that Batman doesn't come out next year. Let Superman be the only game in town. And then we'll cross that bridge when Batman comes back around, and we'll all be excited for it.
Yeah, give it some breathing room.
Give it some breathing room.
But with that being said, James, we have an email.
You've got mail.
So we have an email from loyal listener Zach. He says, "I know this is more of a what if question, but what if with the Batman 2 being delayed and now coming out the same year, supposedly as Brave and the Bold, do you guys think it would be easier for DC just to say that Joker 2019 and Robert Pattinson Batman was a start of the new DCU than have James Gunn's Superman connect it instead of this Elseworld story thing and James Gunn's DCU?
Well, first of all, I think they're going to delay probably Brave and the Bold since this is coming out.
You're right, because
2026.
You pushed back one project and 2 Batman movies in the same year is
they would never do
confusing.
That. Yeah, they would never do that. I think we talked about this earlier in the year when we first started doing our podcast. That James Gunn and Matt Reeves had a meeting, and they were like, "Hey, we want to make sure that our Batman doesn't cross the streams with your Batman."
Right.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to delay that. They're going to delay James Gunn's Batman for a minute.
You're right. Now, what Zach is bringing up here is the potential to just connect the movies instead of doing
Well, that's what it should have been.
You think so?
That's what I mean. I don't like the version of having 2 Batmans. I don't like that. I think that is a horrible idea because all you're doing is just dividing fans all over again.
Right.
I think that it should have been Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves should have played ball, and if not, James Gunn should have been a bully on the block. It's like, well, hey, look here,
right?
Because I don't think he should have been connected with Superman,
right? I don't know. I'm a fan of just doing standalone stories now. Like I don't know. I just don't want all the interconnectivity much.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be interconnected, but why do you need to do another Batman?
Yeah.
It's like you got one standalone Batman, you got one standalone Superman, and then as the years goes on, then you can start to connect.
You bring him in.
Then you
can I see what you're saying.
That's what it should have been.
Have Matt Reeves do his trilogy or whatever, and then at some point fold Robert Pattinson in.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah. Or just wait until Matt Reeves is done with his thing and then bring in a new Batman because they don't have to do Batman right away.
No, there's no need for it.
You can do Superman. You already have like a good amount of characters to do like a pseudo Justice League.
Yeah.
And in some stories, Batman joins late.
Yeah, he always, in some stories, you're right. In almost 100% of the stories, he joins late.
Right, because he's always like the loner character. He doesn't need to be a founding member of the Justice League.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So, yeah, it's like, hey, Matt Reeves, once you're done with your trilogy and you're done with Batman, we'll do a new Batman. Or they'll just rehire Robert Pattinson, right? Because there's no reason not to if he still enjoys doing it. You could just fold him in and make it work.
I just don't like the idea of having to, like, I've been on like the cusp of it and like, well, we can do it. It'll be okay. And I don't care about like the normal fan. It's like, hey, the normal fan is they want, you don't want to confuse them. Like, look, the casual fan will know which Batman is which.
The casual fan thinks Batman and Spider-Man and Iron Man exist in the same
universe.
plan. You're never gonna really have the casual fan on your side the entire time. Some casual fans don't even know that Shazam was based off a comic book.
Exactly.
And Shazam's supposed to be a little boy that turns into a man. Friend of the show, Joel, was telling me about that the other day. He was having a conversation with somebody, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I thought Shazam was stupid. It's a little kid who turns into a superhero." And Joel was like, "Well, that's how the comics were." And the guy goes, "Oh, I didn't know there were comics."
Now, according to these movies, if you watch these movies, they make Shazam look to be a complete fool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah,
it really takes you out of it.
Oh, it takes you out of it big time. But yeah, I've always never been on the fan base of just having two Batmans. I think that is just a horrible idea, and I think that might be the one gift that I give James Gunn. Why I don't like that.
Right.
Idea.
Just hold off on Brave and the Bold until Matt Reeves is done with his trilogy, or it could just be a duology. We don't know. Everyone assumes trilogy, but it could just be the two movies. Really, it could have just been the one movie.
No,
you know what I mean? And it's getting delayed, so who knows? Who knows? There might be some updates that we don't know about coming soon.
Could be.
But
could be.
I mean, as far as like the Elseworlds and folding it into the GCU thing, I like keeping things. I like keeping them separate. Like, cause
no doubt about that.
Because the Joker franchise is so much its own thing.
Yeah.
It totally. Honestly, they don't even have to introduce any kind of Batman in it.
No,
it could just be a Joker story. It really could just be a story about a man going crazy, and it just, he calls himself the Joker or whatever. It doesn't really even have to be like DC. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The only reason why it kind of is because we're getting a sequel and they're doing the Harley Quinn Mad Love thing.
Which I'm pretty sure this is the last Joker movie we'll ever see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it.
Because the fact that it's getting the sequel is a stretch.
Yeah. But it made so much money, they were just like, we got to. You really don't have to, but they got to.
And that goes back to what you were asking about the James Gunn thing, where it's like, it just needs to make enough money to warrant a sequel. It doesn't need $1 billion.
Doesn't need it.
It just needs enough money to warrant a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's where you stand. That's where I stand.
Yeah.
So thanks for emailing us, Zach. Please continue. And if the listeners want to email us, you can find us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. That's where you can email us at. So questions, comments, concerns, what if questions, whatever you want, just email us there. Have you heard about Vinnie Jones, the original Juggernaut?
Yes.
Okay. They approached him for Deadpool 3?
Yes. And he said that he didn't want to do it because it was hard getting in the suit. He had a tough time getting out of the suit, which I think is BS.
Yeah, something about, also the mentality of it. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up because I actually did some show prep today.
Okay.
All right, so X-Men actor Vinnie Jones turned down Deadpool 3 due to mental toll of Juggernaut suit making the last stand. He was shambles and I was very upset, is the quote. I think this is an excuse. I don't think this is why he turned it down. My prediction is I think Disney and Ryan Reynolds came up to him and they were like, hey, we're doing all these cameos. We're folding the Fox universe into the MCU and we're going to, we're gonna kill off some characters in funny ways, or we're gonna do whatever, whatever it is that they're doing. And so they probably just came to him and they're like, "Do you want a cameo? Do you want to do I'm the Juggernaut like line from The Last Stand? Do you want to do the meme?" And Vinnie Jones politely was just like, "No."
Well, I mean, why would you want to step in for 5 seconds just to do some stupid bit
and then have Deadpool slice you up
and then that's it
or whatever? Yeah.
Why would I want to fly all the way from Australia?
Yeah.
Just to do this one little scene,
Yeah.
and then boom, we're out of there.
Yeah.
Well, let's take it all the way back. What did you think about Vinnie Jones when you first saw X-Men Last Stand? What did you think about him as Juggernaut?
I mean, X-Men Last Stand is probably one of the weaker X-Men movies.
Oh, we know that.
Out of all of them, right? It's,
between that one and the Wolverine Origins, it's pretty a tie.
Yeah, but I'd probably watch the Wolverine Origins before I'd watch X-Men The Last Stand.
Yeah, I guess.
Because at least Wolverine Origins, like, it had a fun concept, like seeing Wolverine and Sabretooth go through like all the wars and stuff. That was pretty cool. But yeah, the Juggernaut thing just wasn't. He wasn't Juggernaut. It was just
he wasn't really
that ran,
Juggernaut. Yeah.
Just ran through walls, and then I don't know. The whole Brotherhood team was just weak because you had like the multiple man dude.
Yep.
And then you take Mystique out halfway throughout the movie,
which I thought was very odd.
Yeah. So. No, yeah, I wasn't really too impressed with him as Juggernaut. I mean, of course, when they did Juggernaut and Deadpool 2, it was like, this
game.
This is it. Yeah. And even though he was a giant CGI monster, he was still like, oh, cool, that's how he's supposed to be.
That's how he's supposed to be, yeah.
And it was also kind of cool because they got Ryan Reynolds to voice him, and they just like pitched him down. Mm-hmm. So, and I think it was like his face under the helmet, they just like blew it up.
Yep.
So basically, he played Deadpool and Juggernaut in that film.
Mm-hmm. So I don't really blame Vinnie Jones, and that just kind of also goes to the question. I don't know if we talked about this or not, because I know we talked about Deadpool plenty of times, but like I said, I don't want to see a movie full of nothing but chock full of cameos and just corny jokes.
We already know Elektra's going to be in there. We already know the Pyro guy's going to be there. Sabretooth, Toad.
Fantastic Four.
Or the Fantastic Car, at least. I don't know about the original.
Car. Yeah. I just don't want to see a movie chock filled. I guess that's probably why my excitement hasn't really been there for this movie. I really don't want to see like that.
You're right. Because, I mean, on one hand, it still looks like a fun Deadpool movie, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, are we just going to kill off these characters?
Like, I don't want to see a movie where it's like, because at one point in time, like I told you before, we've loved these movies, or we adored these movies, because that's all we had.
Yeah.
So let's not sit up here and act like, oh, we were just being smart people all of a sudden and saying, oh man, yeah, that was stupid. That was, well, yeah, of course now.
Yeah.
But back then, we this is all we had.
Yeah.
It's like, this is literally all we had,
Like, there was a post the other day talking about how the original X-Men suits in the original X-Men movies look bad. But, I mean, honestly, they don't look that bad. They're just...
So let me ask you this then. Do you think those costumes, do you think those blue and yellow costumes and white costumes that you saw in the cartoon, do you think those costumes would look any better back then?
No, none of that would have translated well at all.
Oh, it would look awful.
And we got the yellow costumes with First Class.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And they looked fine then. Mm-hmm. But that's also just because we were used to the black costumes.
Exactly.
So once you finally get to the accurate ones, you're like, oh, cool, they're there. And then even at the end of, I think, Apocalypse, they showed all the X-Men students in the danger room, and like Nightcrawler was wearing his original costume, Storm was wearing hers, and all that stuff. That looked really great.
Which made me mad they didn't bring those back.
Yeah, I was kind of upset by that too, because they looked like a more modern take. Mm-hmm. But no, yeah, if you were to try to do that back in the early 2000s, they would have looked goofy.
It was absolutely ridiculous. It was like Generation X, that show I told you about. Off the podcast. Look, I'm not sitting up here trying to politic and try to give the writers and the people that made these movies an out, because obviously they threw us scraps and we ate it like fools.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is I don't want to see a movie chock filled with but cameos and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So, I can't stretch that hard enough.
Yeah. So I'm glad Vinnie Jones politely said no and just said it was because of his mental toll. I think it was just because like they were like, hey, do you want to say this one line and get cut up by Deadpool? No, I'm good. Thank you. There's a lot to get in that suit. No, it's not, Vinnie Jones. Look, you're not wearing anything.
You ain't doing construction. You're not doing. Come on, man. Really? There's nothing to get in that suit.
But I mean, I know why, and I completely understand it.
Yeah, so just say what it is. It's just come on, man.
Yeah, good for you, Vinny.
Yeah, good for you. I wonder how much you make off a cameo from doing that, from doing a cameo.
I mean, I don't know, Disney, I'd hit them up for all kinds of money.
Because
you want me in this movie? $200,000. You got to pay me to fly over there.
Yeah, because the cameos that were in there, it's probably like big time cameos.
Right. Well, I
Halle
mean,
Berry,
Jennifer Gardner. I don't know what she's worth nowadays, but she's
Halle Berry.
Yeah, Halle Berry.
Hugh Jackman. You have to pay him.
Oh yeah,
it's Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean he's also your lead, right?
He's your lead, so you got to pay him. But
I don't know. He might be a cameo. We don't know.
Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
What's his name? Patrick Stewart. I'm sorry, Patrick Stewart.
Somewhat related news.
The villain.
No, Professor Xavier, the guy who played Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, has expressed interest in playing Professor X, right?
Oh, you're talking about Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, I didn't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm glad you did.
No, yeah.
So he's expressed interest in playing him, and I'm fine with it. I'm whatever. He's a good actor. I think he'd be cool.
I love it.
So, but he said something recently that kind of made me not want him to play this character because he made the comment that he didn't want to be in the wheelchair. And I'm just like, if you're gonna be Professor X, you gotta be in the wheelchair. I mean, James McAvoy already did the pre-paraplegic Professor X. We
already did the drugged out Professor Xavier.
Yeah, we've already gotten those versions of him. Yeah. I mean, maybe in a dream sequence you can stand up, but like, do not Jennifer Lawrence Mystique yourself. Be in the wheelchair. Just humble yourself and do it because that's what happened with Jennifer Lawrence, right? She played Mystique in the newer X-Men films, and if you watch those movies, over time she stops wearing the makeup, and it's because it was uncomfortable for her to wear. But it's like you actively chose to be the blue character.
Like you do know the character Mystique is not a leader of the X-Men.
Yeah,
you do know the character Mystique is nothing more than a sex pod for the comics and for the show. Let's just call it what it is. It's a sex pod. Yeah. She's a device. She's a device. She's a device to keep the comics going.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like a strong story arc.
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually she has her own comic.
Yeah, they give her own comic and, stuff like that.
There's the whole like she's Nightcrawler's mother and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting and whatnot. But
for the most part, she's always been like a device.
Well, she's always a sidekick too, the Magneto. Yeah. So unless you do like a Mystique movie.
Yeah.
Now,
if Jennifer Lawrence wanted to be something else, she could have been Emma Frost.
Could have been
Jean Grey.
Could have been Kitty Pryde.
Jubilee
Rogue.
Like you could do characters like that.
Yeah.
But Mystique has never been a character that has been on the forefront of the X-Men.
Well, I mean, also too, Mystique is proud of her mutant looks and her genes proud. And stuff. So to play that character who's supposed to be proud of like being blue and standing out, and then over the movies, you slowly stop wanting to be blue and standing out. It rubs people the wrong way.
Well, I'm pretty sure her agent, whoever that was, she probably like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna let you go. After she found out how this role really is, like, I gotta let you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I think over time, as she got more famous, she was just like, no, I don't want to.
Got an Oscar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, these are the fun movies. I don't want to sit in makeup for like 5 hours or whatever. Yeah. So.
Also, too, I wanted to ask you too, while we're still on like Marvel.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Deadpool villain?
Have they confirmed
sister?
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Is that who it's actually supposed to be?
Yeah.
See, I hadn't heard about that. I was kind of in the dark on the villain. So what's her deal?
I don't know what I don't know why she would have a beef with Deadpool, but I know she's powerful, and I know she's bald headed. And I seen like the origins on what's that? What's that podcast? That show that comes on YouTube where it's called Variant.
Variant, yeah. Variant. I like that guy. He's cool.
Yeah, me too. And he always looks up these different villains and heroes and stuff like that. And if you don't know who this person is, he gives you like a backstory on who that person is.
Oh, Cassandra Nova.
Yeah, Cassandra Nova. Yeah, she's supposed to be the villain of the Deadpool movie.
She really is bald-headed.
Yeah. Well, they got the star already. That's supposed to be in there too. She's like, I'm not gonna say she's nobody because she's somebody, but she's an unknown.
This alias is Jean Grey, according to this Marvel fandom site I'm on.
Yeah.
Current alias is the Phoenix.
So I'm interested. in her. Something different, that's for sure.
She was stopped by Professor X, but Professor X was killed in the process, and Jean Grey was turned into a Phoenix egg. There's some wild backstory going on. Cassandra Nova, twin sister of Professor X, and had become a Mumudrai. She was determined to wipe out mutant kind and attempted to use Cerebro to carry out this task. Wow. Well, my thing is, she's a villain, but she's also in that TVA place, right? She's also in the Nowhere's Land or whatever you want to call it. I forget the actual name for it, but so obviously she existed at a time somewhere, so she wasn't supposed to exist. So is she directly a Deadpool villain, or is she just a villain of this world? Because I think the idea is the TVA had pruned a bunch of timelines, and some of those timelines had the X-Men in them, or these X-Men characters in them, or these Fox Universe characters, I should say. And instead of being wiped out by that smoke monster that lives there, they're too powerful, right? So they've somehow taken control of it, and now they're hunting down TVA members. That seems to be a huge speculation. Is that's kind of why they're sending Deadpool in there.
I can see that. So
I wonder if, she's not directly a Deadpool villain, but she might just be like the warlord of this place.
Might be.
And then you have the Professor X connection, so she's like evil Professor X, right? She's just bald headed and a woman. Mm-hmm. So, well, there you go, all you anti-woke people. We get a villain who's a woman
and bald headed.
So look at that.
If you're racist against people with no hair, then there you go.
There you go. This is your prime movie.
Yep, this has got everything for you.
Yeah. James, I actually watched something.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, mark it on the calendar, man. Mark it down. So I watched that Damsel movie on Netflix.
Okay. Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Millie Bobby Brown fights a big dumb dragon.
Is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much it. Like she fights a big dumb dragon in this movie, and the dragon is big and dumb. Let me tell you, it's basically a flip on the whole damsel in distress, trope, right? She's a damsel, she's a princess, and then she's got to go fight this dragon. Well, the main premise of the story, and this is like a spoiler-free premise. Essentially, if you watch the trailer, you get it. She goes to this kingdom to get married to this prince, and something goes awry, and now she's being sacrificed to this dragon, which caught my interest because, again, it's a flip. It's not the same typical like princess storyline. But she is very much a princess, and she is very much in distress this whole movie. It's not like she gets thrown in the dragon's pit and she's automatically like a bad A. You know what I mean? Yeah. she screams and yells and runs and all this other stuff. The action's pretty good. The overall story was pretty interesting. It's got a neat twist to it. Angela Bassett, I think, is her stepmother.
Oh, she's in there too?
Yeah, she plays her stepmother, and they. Again, a twist on the genre, I suppose, is they don't do the evil stepmother thing. She's actually a caring stepmother. She actually, you can tell in the movie before she gets thrown into the dragon's den that like the stepmother kind of gets a vibe. The stepmother is kind of weary about what's going on, and she's actually kind of protective over the stepdaughters because it's Elodie, which is Millie Bobby Brown's character, and then she's got a sister named like Floria, I believe. It's overall like a nice refresh.
Well, I saw the trailer. It kind of reminded me of Snow White and the Huntsman. Snow White and the Huntsman was pretty much the same, where it's just like the same thing. And also, too, most recently, Maleficent. So Maleficent was the same thing, too. It was a flip reversal, too.
I got what you're saying. And you know what? You're probably right. It probably is kind of in that same sort of vein. But
I mean, which I love. I mean, it's cool to see films do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wonder how many times you can keep doing that to the point where it's just like, what else you got up your sleeve?
Yeah.
What else you got up your sleeve with these?
Well, I mean, like I said, this one, I think this is as far as you go, is where it's like, okay, cool. She's a princess, but instead of getting married to the prince and being saved by the prince, like they turn on her and they sacrifice her to a dragon or whatever. And I mean, I could do like a little bit of spoilers if you want them.
No, because I actually want to watch this.
Want to watch? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'd recommend it. I'd give it a solid, like, probably 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Because, it's not like a huge blockbuster or anything. It's not incredibly surprising, but there's like a little twist in there that's like, oh, okay, this explains why they're doing this and why the world's working like this.
There's a plot device there.
Yeah, there is. And, I mean, part of it is, and again, this isn't a spoiler either. In the first 5 minutes, you figure this out. They're from a very poor kingdom.
Oh, yeah. I can tell that by the trailer.
Yeah. So the fact that she even got a marriage proposal is already shady in a way because they're like, why are we getting the marriage proposal? Because where their kingdom is in relation to the kingdom that they're getting married into is very far apart. And so they're like, oh, why are they coming this far, like north for?
They just happen to see you.
Yeah, exactly. So from the beginning, it does a good job of setting up. Like, I mean, obviously, if you've seen the trailer, you know what's going to happen. But like from the beginning, it does a good job of having the weirdness. There's obviously some underlying thing here. She's hanging out with a prince, but the prince's facial expressions, even like when he's around, like his mother is very like unsure. You know what I mean? Like you can tell he knows what's about to go down or what he's about to have to do.
I do plan on watching it. I know it's on Netflix. I know it came out March 8th.
Yes.
Yeah. So I definitely plan on watching that one.
I'm pulling up who all is in it, so I can so I can run down the list. So obviously Millie Bobby Brown is the main character. We got Ray Winston.
Oh, Ray Winston's in there?
Yeah, and he plays he plays her father.
Love Ray Winston. Did you hear what he said about Black Widow?
No.
Hated doing that movie.
He's that guy?
Hated doing that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, he hated doing that movie. He hated that movie.
Yeah, I saw something about that recently. What all did he say exactly? It was just like a nightmare to shoot?
Yeah, he said it was a nightmare to shoot. I don't know what he said verbatim. I forgot, but it was because it was like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, man, he hated doing it. I was shocked that Ray Winston was even in the movie like that, Black Widow, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, they kind of did a bait and switch, right? Because, I mean, you thought Taskmaster was a villain, and in a way, Taskmaster was, but like they just did Taskmaster very differently than what everyone knows from the comics, which isn't entirely a bad thing. It's just kind of like, oh, they're not really the villain,
I respect that though. I respect where Ray Winston coming out, just speaking his mind. It's like, yeah, this was a nightmare to shoot. It was ridiculous. Come on, why would I ever want to come back and do this again?
Right.
I mean,
some other people have come out and said that about the Marvel films, but I suppose because the company is just so big and the studio is so big that all the moving parts and all the, some of these movies now are going through all kinds of like rewrites and reshoots and, you got all the green screen around you. Mm-hmm. You're working with these big name actors and actresses, and it's just
good for him, man. Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to throw you off, but who else is in there?
No, you get Nick Robinson plays the prince.
Never heard of him.
He was in a stage production of The Christmas Carol in 2008, and he was on the show Melissa and Joey. Oh, Melissa and Joey.
Melissa and Joey. Yeah,
Melissa Joan Hart. Yeah. I guess he was one of the kids.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I don't know him from anything else either, so I'm right there with you. And then I don't know how to pronounce this woman's name. Shoria Agdashiu. She voices the dragon.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I guess minor spoiler there. The dragon...
It's voiced by a woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the dragon does talk. But, again, Angela Bassett as the stepmother, and then Robin Wright is basically the evil queen in this movie.
Nah, that's about right.
That's about right.
For her, yeah.
Does she play evil people?
Sort of, kind of.
Was she Jenny in Forrest Gump?
Yeah, she was Jenny. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Still looks good. She still looks good.
I don't know why. I just never thought that the actress who played Jenny
still alive?
Ever acted again.
Oh.
I didn't know. I never knew who the actress was, so I just assumed she died with Jenny.
Nah, she still looks great.
Fun fact.
Yep.
She does. She doesn't look too bad, but yeah, 7 out of 10. I'd recommend watching it. It's a good flick.
Well, while we're on the reviews of movies, I did see one movie, and I saw it. I totally forgot about it because that's how unforgettable it was. I saw Imaginary with Deandra Wise.
Oh, is that that's the bear, right?
Yeah, about the bear. So basically,
oh wait, no, you can spoil this for me because I do want to know. Hold on, I have a new spoiler alert.
Oh, okay, cool.
That I made. Since I've gotten faster with the editing, I've become more creative with some of these things. So, but you might want to watch out, James. You might want to move over to the left a little bit. Just
okay.
Yeah.
This is an on-the-go spoiler alert. You have now been alerted.
I got a spoiler bot.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, he just busts into the room and
I like that.
A spoiler alert.
Like the glass shatter.
Yeah, I hope you didn't get any shrapnel on you or anything. But tell me about Imaginary.
So basically, Deandra Wise, she's from what's that? Jurassic World Kingdom Dominion. She was the pilot.
I see.
Yeah. So when she was a kid, kids draw imaginary pictures.
Right.
This imaginary spirit or demon came to life in the form of a teddy bear.
So this was when she was a kid.
Yeah, when she was a kid.
I see. Oh yeah, that's right. The trailer explains that.
Yeah. So basically, as she gets older, she moves out the house, and she gets married to a guy that has 2 kids. He's a so she becomes a stepmom.
Right.
And they also pull off one of the, I hate this trope, and it is annoying to me.
A bad step parent.
Yes,
I hate when
they do. Well, the daughter hates the stepmom.
Yeah.
That is a trope that needs to stop. Hollywood has got to stop doing that.
Well, I mean, we just talked about a movie that didn't do that, right? The stepmother from Damsel.
Yeah, Damsel. Like, I'm getting so tired of that. Like, oh, you're messing up my life, and I wish you wasn't here, and I wish my mom was here, and it's just a bad trope.
I mean, I suppose for a horror movie it makes sense because part of like these horror movies or like slashers is you want irredeemable characters. You want characters that you would like to see die, essentially, right?
But you don't have to be so on the nose with it.
Yeah,
like you can do that naturally. We've seen horror movies that do that naturally.
That is true.
You know, we've seen some horror movies where we had one stretch where we wanted every kid to die in these horror movies. Like whether it be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one on Netflix. Like we've seen some movies, man, where some of these characters were pretty much irredeemable.
But then you have movies like X. Have you seen X?
Yeah, I've seen X. Yeah,
where all the characters, they're not bad people.
They're not bad people.
In fact, seeing them die is almost kind of sad because the situation they're in. I mean, they're doing a shady thing in a way, but they don't deserve to be murdered.
And then you got movies like Scream, where you love those characters and you want to see them come back, like the latest Screams.
Right.
Where you see these characters like, oh man, I love Jenny Ortega. And I love the sisters.
They're starting to work on that again.
Yeah.
I think Neve Campbell's coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. But so they move in. Then they move in. Why would they move into the house where it has the imaginary demon? I have no idea. It's just totally dumb.
That's what you do in these movies.
Yeah. You move into the house where the demon is, just like Poltergeist or Amityville Horror. All those type of movies. So the little girl, the demon ends up getting inside the teddy bear, and the little girl that's there, she ends up, taking over. He's possessing that body of the teddy bear.
Right.
So basically, the whole time it's just a whole bunch of, oh, I see you. No, you don't see me. It's just a bunch of pop-up scares, bunch of laziness. Oh man, Blumhouse. What's going on with Blumhouse?
Are they getting that bad? I thought they were like, doing great.
They're getting real lazy. They're getting real lazy over there at Blumhouse. I was like, that image of the monster bear. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've been seeing that one float around.
What is going on with Blumhouse, man? It's like, and they know what they're doing. They film the scenes in the dark because they know it looks bad. I was like, what is going on?
Which that's always really annoying because I hate it when it's like a really dark scene and it's really dark just because they don't want to pay the extra money to like CG.
That's the same thing they did in Evil Dead.
Yeah,
like they've been doing that a lot lately in Blumhouse movies.
Is the monster bear in it a lot? Do they actually show the monster bear quite a bit?
They don't show him a lot. He only pops up like at the end. Then pops up like in the middle where like in the trailer where he scares the little guy.
The dude, yeah.
But it's just it's so lazy, man. It is not a good film at all. Very boring. Just a waste of everybody's time and just I don't know what's going on with Blumhouse. They used to be so good when they first came out. I say this, they weren't so good, but they were doing good with movies on a budget. But it's okay to spend a little bit. Like it's okay to spend a little bit on your material.
Yeah, you can spend some of the money, right?
Yeah, you can spend something. You don't have to. I ain't somebody got like $200 million.
You don't need to pocket it all.
Yeah, you don't have to. I ain't somebody $200 million budget. But at least spend some type of money.
They also made that Night Swim movie.
I saw that movie too.
I get what you're saying, yeah. And they made the Five Nights at Freddy's. But Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't really that bad because it wasn't a horror film meant for adults. You know what I mean? They kind of knew their audience. The Exorcist, they did the new Exorcist movie. Was that one bad too?
That was horrible, man.
The Black Phone was pretty good though.
Black Phone I did like. Black Phone I did like.
They, them. That's the one where like I haven't seen that one because it's too. I don't know. It's too modern times for me. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like,
They're getting. I don't know what's going on with Blumhouse, man. They're getting real lazy all of a sudden, and they're starting to pocket a lot of the money. I don't understand why because they were so good when they first came out the gate. Them A24 were like neck and neck.
A24 is really kicking off though. They're doing all kinds of movies.
I'm starting to worry about them too now because now they're starting to. They say they want to dip into franchises. I'm like,
that.
see, that's what you're gonna mess up at right there.
I find it funny that Blumhouse like has all these like horror movies, and then you have Black Klansman.
Black Klansman. Well, that's a horror movie. If you want to keep it real.
That's true. If you look at it a certain way, it can be, but
that's a horror film.
It's just funny because you have all these like slasher horror type like thrillers, and then Black Klansman.
Yeah. But it's just, man, I don't know what's going on with Blumhouse,
I didn't realize
man.
they did Fantasy Island.
Yep, Fantasy Island.
That one wasn't so bad. That was kind of fun.
They got a lot more bad movies than good movies, but what you always appreciate about Blumhouse was they were the quality of the movies. And it's like the more and more you appreciate the quality of the movies, the more and more they're starting to put out low quality movies.
I mean, I see what's happening. They have so many. I didn't realize they had this many films.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they have a lot.
They did the Halloween movies. They do the Insidious movies. They have the Happy Death Date. They did Glass.
Yep.
I didn't like Glass. Did you like Glass?
No.
I didn't care for it too much.
I didn't like that movie.
Yeah. Because Split was like, oh, this is a surprise, and then Glass was just too much. Yeah.
But yeah, they got a lot more on the nose and all right movies than good movies. But man, they've been hitting some lows lately. And this movie shows no different. Imaginary. Don't waste your time. I give it a 3 out of 10.
I mean, that's what happens when you just keep cranking out these movies,
Yeah.
Like you said about Batman. Sometimes it's better to take a little while longer.
Take a break, man.
Yeah.
Take a break. And it's okay to add. When I go on these rants about spending $300 million on movies, I'm not saying go crazy with that. I'm just saying put a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Like the guy that won the Oscar for American Fiction.
He had a speech about it.
Great speech. He was an amazing. He's like, instead of spending $200 million on one movie, one big project, how about you take $200 million on and spend it on 5 projects?
You're right. Yeah, because you can do low budget movies and you can still do good low budget movies.
Just good quality movies. What's that movie that came out, man? It was the first movie that A24 ever came out with. And I was Upgrade.
Oh yeah.
That is probably by far one of the best sci-fi movies I have seen of a low quality.
Yeah.
That story was amazing.
Right. I've seen the end of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the whole movie, but I've seen the end of it. So I kind of know how it ends.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Houses implanted by robots and dystopian type world.
Right.
And it was on a low budget.
And it's like an action movie, right?
Yeah, it was like an action movie.
Beating up and shooting people the whole movie and stuff. Yeah.
It was a good movie, man. I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was a good story.
It's funny because I think that came out around the same time as the first Venom movie.
I think so.
And people like these articles were like comparing the two because it's a guy who is essentially talking to himself, right? You have the guy and then you have the voiceover or whatever.
But yeah, man, don't waste your time with Imaginary. Don't waste your time with that. Unfortunately,
it did look interesting. I don't know, just something about this haunted bear was like kind of neat to me.
It's just a bear that just sits there.
But maybe the other Imaginary Friends movie coming out will be better.
And Night Swim wasn't even better. Night Swim wasn't no better either.
Which one? Oh, Night Swim?
That wasn't no better. Night Swim felt like a Stephen King book that he threw in the trash and someone picked it up.
Night Swim's a stupid premise. It's a haunted swimming pool.
Pick this book up, Rick. Stephen King threw it in the trash, and then somebody was like, "Let me go and pick this out of the trash can real quick."
Stephen King has a list of like haunted objects, and just like no swimming pool doesn't work throughout the manuscript.
And so I just put it. What happened to janitor overnight? When he lifted off the trash can, he's like, "What's this? Night Swim."
Do you think that's why we have janitors? You think secretly they all want to find like the award-winning script?
Could be. Have you seen Night Swim?
No, I haven't seen Night Swim.
Yeah.
Why would I watch the movie? As soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, it's a swimming pool. Just don't go in the swimming pool.
But the pool ends up possessing the father. And then that's like all the Blumhouse movies have something to do with possession, man. Like Friday Night at Freddy's, possession.
Right. But at least Five Nights at Freddy's has already an established lore you can kind of work off of.
I remember last year, I killed that movie.
You did?
I hated that movie with every passion in my fiber. And they're making another one.
Are they doing another one?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
Because it made us money.
Yeah. So, I mean, that brings up another question. It's like, just because a movie makes its money back, does it need a sequel?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Godfather should have never seen a sequel.
Yeah.
Godfather, and that first Godfather is the best movie you'll ever see. And they made a sequel to that. It couldn't even follow it.
Right.
Superman 2. Didn't need to do Superman 2, 3, or 4.
No.
Didn't need that.
No.
What's another movie? You have any movies that didn't need a sequel to it?
not off the top of my head, but
Off the
I'm
top
sure
of your
after this I can tell you.
I don't even think Gladiator needs a sequel, and they're doing a sequel to that.
They are doing it. Yeah, you're right. Gladiator don't need one. Well, see, Gladiator has one of those sequels that fall under a few problems because it's one of those things where it's like you have these movies that they're singular for like 20 years, and now 20 years later they do a sequel to them. We've seen that over the last couple of years. So the issue with those movies are, okay, you do a sequel to that. Is it going to be a sequel that actually adds to the story, or are you just going to do the same movie but 20 years later?
Pretty much the second part, because I read what the story's about.
Yeah.
So yeah, it follows Maximus, Joaquin Phoenix's character, his son.
I see.
It follows his son. Denzel Washington's in there too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that comes out next year, in November.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of movies out there. Yeah. But what goes on is the studio's like, well, we can't turn away this much money.
Yeah, you're right.
So we have to do a sequel to it.
Like this movie makes us money. It's like, yeah, well, that movie made you money.
Don't mean the second one.
But is the sequel going to make you money? Is the sequel going to be good or better or worse? Like, what do you...
Like Joker. I'm scared about Joker because Joker, I heard that hit like a budget of $200 million.
Yeah.
I was like, and the first one didn't have that much of a budget.
No, it was a small budget movie.
I was like,
and like the way they shot it was really, I mean, the way they did it in general was like a good like look at the Joker's psyche. And again, at the end of the day, you could argue that might not even be like an actual Joker. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just a guy who goes crazy. You have a unreliable narrator too, because you don't know what's real, what's not real. And I hope they take advantage of that in this next one. So we'll see what they do with that. But again, it's another one of those. We haven't seen the trailer yet.
Haven't seen the trailer. We haven't seen nothing for that.
Nothing. Like every now and then they'll release like a photo. And then the photo doesn't tell you anything. And then for weeks that articles come out and we're like, oh, look at these new photos from Joker 2.
It's getting about that time. Getting about that time. I mean,
I think that's an October movie.
Okay, it's getting about that time, man. Like if I can hammer Sony about not putting out their trailers, I gotta hammer.
Yeah, no, Joker Folie à Deux is an October movie. It's gonna go up against Venom maybe October 4th. It'll be like a week or two before Venom.
It's about time to start a trailer.
Yeah,
let's get something
or
going.
A teaser or something that shows us something.
Man, give us something. Like the film's been finished filming. It's been wrapped. So I'm like, But yeah, that's all. I think we're done with the reviews.
Yeah,
so, that's all I got.
That's all I got for the show entirely. So
yeah, that's all I got.
I mean, hey, you got nothing. I got nothing. Hey guys, if you want to follow us, you can find us at. Hold on, I did this backwards. You can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can, again, like I said earlier, questions, comments, concerns, what ifs, what have nots, whatever you want to send us, you can send us. We may read it, we may not. Who knows? You can find us on Instagram at onthegopod. No, On The Go with Jacob and James, all one word. You can find me on Instagram at jacobdanton.audio. You can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
You can also find us on YouTube, On The Go with Jacob and James, again, all one word. We're getting we got some new subscribers, James. We're going up. We're going on. We're moving on up, as the classic Jefferson's theme was.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, you can follow us on YouTube, and that's all we got. So without further ado, I'm on the go. James is on the go. We are all on the go. Goodbye, everyone.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please follow and share the podcast with your friends and family units. If by chance you disliked the episode, then please share the On The Go show with your most hated enemies. Thank you and enjoy your day.
Mm-hmm.